Hey everybody, welcome to this Masters qualifying round playthrough for the Lakeside 9-hole cup. These are actual tournament wins for the qualifying round, and I'll walk you through each hole. We can shoot a minus 17 or better using these shots, and I'll give you some insight into the tweaks that need to be made on the shots that I missed. So let's jump right into hole number one. All right, on hole number one, we're going to go for the green here, and we're going to focus on trying to replicate this spot. So your rings might be different or would be different based on your level of apocalypse towards the rough there, but you're going to want to go max top spin to right spin. And if you have APOC 5, this shot is likely not going to make it through. You're not going to have enough top spin. So we just max plus 5, and then you're going to see we're going to go full overpower here and check the curl. There's sometimes a thought of if we could add a little bit more curl, could we make a run here at the pin? I did try it a couple of times. Unfortunately, the one time I added more curl, I hit great left and hit a tree. So I'm going to stick with the easy eagle on this one. Let's move on to hole number two. Hole number two is a tricky par 3 here. We're focused at starting at the plus 11 mark. You'll notice the bullseye is real close to the rough edge there. 4.8 backspin, 1 left spin. You can replicate this shot with a kingmaker if you'd like. You're just going to end up pulling more rings. You'll notice I try to knock down the wind as much as I can with a Kingslayer or a Centurion if you have them. But if you don't, you can make this shot work with a Kingmaker as well. So find that spot, add your spins. We're going to go max 15%. And then you'll notice we're going to slightly underpower this shot. So be mindful of this, or else this shot can get dangerous quickly. Bouncing over into the water. So check out that underpower. Watch the video a couple times if you need to make sure you get that right. If you get this one, it's a bonus because this is a very tough par 3. Let's move on to hole number 3. Here we go, our first par 5. This is a beautiful approach here. We're going to be at max distance and then 3.5 topspin, 2 right spin. And then you'll notice here I have a separate video if you get a lower wind. So you see a 15.9 wind there, which means we're going to pull back a few yards. I have a separate video posted on the channel. If you get the low wind, I would check that one out so you know how to play it if you get like a 14 or a 14.5. So we're going to go full overpower, just a tiny bit of curl to the left. Try to hit perfect. Minor grates, either direction should be fine. And this one is going to bounce and roll out nicely for us just in front of the green here. Notice our elevation, we're pretty flat, which means we're going to play Endbringer School plus 20%. So we're going to line that up, see where it falls. I believe this one was 60% Endbringer at 20% elevation. No spin here. And then take your time. You should have plenty of time here, but when you're pulling this many rings, you want to take your time and make sure that you get them right. It can be tricky when you're pulling 10 plus rings, 2 separate pulls, so make sure you take your time. You should have plenty to work with if you can quickly identify how far away you are with your Endbringer School method. Hit perfect, and you're going to have a nice albatross on this par 5. Hole number 4, we're going to play with a Kingslayer. So you're going to find this spot. It's close to that blue ring by the bunker there. That's the best. And you can see the ball guide almost trickling onto the fairway before spins. We're going to add our spins. And then there is a separate video here. You want to play this with a Kingmaker? You can. You're only going to have right spin of 3. So you're going to have to compensate with curl. But again, I have a separate video with Kingmaker posted on the channel as well. We're going to adjust mid plus 35%. Make sure you change to P4 numbers in your app so we can get that right. Occasionally you will pull into overpower here, so be mindful if you need to add OP if you pull into it. And we're going to hit perfect. And this one's just going to come in a little bit left of the cup. So if I was playing this again, I would add just a touch of right curl. Hole 5 is a tricky par 4. We're going to try to find this spot at +5. Again, your rings are going to look different based on your APOC level. 0.8 topspin, 2 left spin. Very touchy drive here. You can either clip the rough on the front side and not roll long enough, or if you put too much topspin or too much overpower, you can roll long. So it's very touchy drive that you want to get right. Push the rings here or else that big tree is in your way. And you only use OP if you adjust into it. You'll see this one will roll nicely down into that open fairway area, which is going to leave us a sniper to try to get this eagle. So we're going to try to estimate the distance of our club. So this is why you'll see I kind of push up to the max, bring back to the min, and kind of figure out where I'm at in the range. This one's going to take max top spin, 3 right spin. It could vary a little bit depending on exactly where you land. We're going to line this up almost right on the edge to try to get this through. So then we're going to put our slider in plus 10%. This is a tricky shot, and you can fly the green on it if you pull slightly at a different angle. If you overpower the shot at all, you could fly the green. So if you don't feel comfortable, you can play a backspin shot and just take a safe birdie and move on. You'll notice I underpowered that shot just a touch, and that's why it's going to come up short, but it was perfectly on line there. Hole 6, another par 5, another tailwind. So we're going to look for this spot here at max distance, and we're going to go 7 topspin, 2 right spin. If you have APOC 5, you can try this as well. You may have to push up more yards to get the distance. So with we're only going to push up 18 yards here because we have the extra top spin. But if you're playing with APOC 5, you could push up, an extra, 5 yards, maybe all the way to max, depending on how far we go up here. But notice we were at +1. We should push up here to +19. And then we'll check the curl right there. Full overpower. Slight great right, but you're gonna see it's gonna come over here. It's gonna clip this tree, which is fine. If we hadn't clipped the tree, we would have rolled out a little longer, which would have made our second shot a little bit shorter, but either way is fine. So we're gonna estimate our distance to see about how far we are in the range for our short iron. Don't need any backspin or topspin. We're just going to go with 2 right spin. And we're going to be short of the pin and offset to the right. And that's going to help us account for that second wind push that we get after the first bounce. So we're going to adjust our slider plus 35% elevation. Try to hit perfect. And we're going to roll this one in for a nice albatross. Hole number 7, you'll need Thor's Hammer level 7 or 8. Focus on this spot. Look at where the ball guide is entering into the green. That's what you want to replicate for the landing area. And then we're going to go 8 top spin, 1 right spin. You're going to see the ball guide right of the pin there, but it's very difficult how far it is away, so you really want to focus on that initial landing position to try to find the right spot. We're going to go mid plus 5%, P2 numbers in your app, so make sure you change that over. Again, this is a shot you can play with Kingmaker if you want. You're going to have more wind, more rings, and you'll notice just a touch of right curl there. You're going to watch this one bounce and roll nicely right up into the pin for a beautiful hole-in-one. Hole number 8, we're going to go ahead and use a luminary, a wonderful little no-move target shot. Going to be 6.1 top spin and 0.5 left spin. You can also try to replicate this with a Kingmaker if you want. You're going to have to add more top spin to make that work. So if you don't have a lot of luminaries, you can try to replicate this shot, but it would be tricky. So max plus 5, we're going to push up 6 yards. So it's important to watch where you're at and add up 6 yards as you push straight up from the tee. And then we're going to have max overpower on the drive. Bounce clear and roll out. It's going to leave us a short iron play here. You can play this short iron shot with the B52 level 6 plus or the Grizzly 8 or 9. We're going to estimate, actually, you know what, Grizzly may not have enough top spin. It just depends on your landing area. So if you have B52 6, 7, or 8, I'd use it. The top spin does vary here, but depending on where you're at. Should always try to use 2 right spin. And we're going to try to get the ball guide right there in the cup. And then we're going to take our estimated distance and adjust with 0 elevation. You notice I had a little bit of left curl on that shot accidentally, and that probably cost me right there. Hole number 9, another tricky drive here. If you have an 11 or a 12 wind, you might even consider like 4.4 top spin or 4.3 top spin. You'll see why in a minute. We're going to adjust max plus 10%. Max OP, and then our curl there is just outside the right edge of the ball, and you're going to see this one come in real close to the rough line. So any wind higher than that, and that would have been risky for me, so 4.4 top spin might be better to be safe. We're going to estimate distance of club. This one, if you don't have a Falcon 6, 7, or 8, you can use your Hornet as well. We just need a lot of top spin, so the Hornet is totally fine here. So estimate your distance of your club here and get that ball guide through the hole. And then we're going to adjust our estimated distance minus 0%. And you're going to notice I hit great left on this, and it still goes in, which means I over adjusted just a little bit. So that's where those estimates get a little tricky, but we will still take the Albatross here. So there's your qualifying round. Those shots get you a minus 17. Couple of tweaks, you could totally have an 18 or a 19. It doesn't take premium balls to have success in Masters. If you're new to the community, tell your friends, like and subscribe to the channel so that you get updates as soon as I post new content. You can be alerted so that you're ready to go. And again, we want to keep building this community of free-to-play players who are competing at the Masters level. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video today, and I hope it helps you in the qualifying round. Thanks, everyone.